So, hello student. So, we are in the last lecture of model 14 on finance and PPP in MSW projects, and this lecture I targeted specially to give some case studies of public private partnership, and before that some of the important points under the PPP projects, and also some data was very difficult to collect regarding especially success stories and failure stories under the PPP projects for the different states or different cities of the country. So, I had found one PhD thesis also based on that, few point on the of the PhD thesis also I had added into the slides. So, first is the PPP in solid waste management, like it is created by the Ministry of Environment and Forest in 2000 based on the like Environmental Protection Act 1986. So, because in this Protection Act 1986 which where the ULBs had a responsibility for management of municipal solid waste. And also since the launch of JNRM program in 2005, central government grants are being channelized through the urban infrastructure governance and urban infrastructure development scheme for small and medium towns under the JNRM and finance commission grants. So, there are two systems for MSW in India. One was centralized, like technology driven, and one was decentralized, the community based system for of waste management. And also the integrated municipal solid waste management or processing or disposal will be the mostly operated by DBFO model, that was centralized scheme, and that was basically technology based, and most of the decentralized systems will be operated by management contract model. Now, database for PPP solid waste management projects, if you want to have the complete data of the PPP projects in India, you can visit these websites like PPP in India, this is the major one, or also JNRM scheme also you can go, or Amrit, this is also another scheme from I think this is easily available, this data. And there are major the solid waste management scheme efforts, JNRM scheme and Amrut scheme, which I am going to discuss here. And this classification of the cities has been done on population and HRA basis. So, what was the critical success factor was found, and why is very important? Because critical success factor are the key factors which play a critical role in the success of infrastructure project, and these are the few critical success factor. 10 critical factors was found in India. I think this is one source of PhD thesis at IIT Guwahati. I think this thesis has come up with 10 critical success factors, like integrating of informal sector, because in India informal sector is the quantity is more, and almost 10% to 50% waste management is under the informal sectors. Waste segregation is the one of the important criteria of the treatment and processing of waste. Detailed project planning, likewise public awareness was another one, like appropriate toll and tariffs was there. And most crucial critical success factor was found, that was 5 most critical success factor or very crucial. First is the integration of informal sector, waste segregation, public awareness, appropriate toll, and public engagement and support. I think this is the 5 important critical success factors for solid waste management PPP projects. And I think these kind of success, without seeing the critical success factor, many projects has been failed. And so, there are 31 MSWM projects under PPM mode in India, which are established under the scheme of JNRM or Amrit, that Atal mission of regeneration and urban transformation. And the database you can find very easily under the PPP cell. So, this was the different projects. This was for the tier 1 cities in tier 1 cities or MSWM projects in India, like the first was in Mumbai, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Delhi, and there are different kind of projects. Was like in Hyderabad, integrated solid waste management project, in Bangalore, sanitary landfill, likewise, and different module also has been used, the PPP modules, and different companies like Ramki was in Hyderabad, Bangalore, and this was Timarpur Okhla Waste Management Company Private Limited was in Delhi. I think this is based on the data available in the websites. Like in tier 2 cities like Visakhapatnam, Nellore, Jodhpur, Kanpur, Mysore, different PPP projects. So, likewise, and some was technology based, like here you see secure design landfill facility in Vadodara, but was in Dehradun door to door collection facility, and also was solid waste composting and landfill facilities. Like in the Goa, that was implementation of 100 tons per day solid waste management facility unit in one particular location. So, likewise, the different projects, and a lot of private company or private sector was engaged and under the solid waste management project. And actually the thought was that these all private sectors was thinking that they will get lot of benefits from these kind of infrastructure projects. Why? Because they will get lot of money from the local people, from the or from the local authority for collection of waste, and once they will be able to treat the waste, they can easily get lot of revenue by compost, by biogas, or by energy, and lot of recyclable matters are available, was available into that. So, obviously, most of the private company they want to under the PPP mode with the local authorities, because lot of benefits was there. In the tier 2 cities like few very small cities like Katni in Madhya Pradesh, Moradabad in UP, likewise, and different projects. And there is some local company, some of very well known like A to Z Waste Management in Moradabad company, Ramki was in Belgaum, Karnataka. So, likewise, like Tirupur in Tamil Nadu, Varanasi. So, this is one case study like Gorai dumping ground. It was in Mumbai. It was well known projects, like it was located in western suburb of Mumbai. Area was 19.6 hectare, and it was a open dumping since 1972, and adjacent to Gorai creek, close to habitation, and the creek water polluted due to inflow of leachate, and because of that lot of degradation of mangroves and deterioration of air quality. No clean air was neighboring citizen. This was the issues. This prior to closure, I think you can see here by this photograph you can see. So, approximately 2.34 million tons of waste up to an average height of 26 meter was lying at the site. So, it was completely a hill was created because of waste dumping, and was structuring like the scientific closure of Gorai dumping ground was thought, is a first of its kind in the country, was the first project to be completed as per waste management plan under the PPP mode. So, it designed by IL and FS and structured at 15-year PPP with construction, operation and maintenance. Contract was awarded to United Phosphorus Limited, and this is another company, and this construction completed in 20 months at a cost of 50 crores, and operation and maintenance cost estimated was 12 crores after the 15 years of post closure. And also it was set up for 3 megawatt landfill gas power plants on a DB OOT PPP module base. Was expected return from the project was capex was 11 crores, cost of electricity generated from the landfill was 3.5 rupees per unit. So, likewise was thought because of because the waste to energy, because the whatever the landfill after closure of landfill, they will be able to collect the gas, and on that gas the waste to energy plants will run. And the challenges was like marked improvement in the quality of life in the local people, creation of 19 hectare of green space in Mumbai, restoration of mangroves, improvement of local health, their elimination of foul odor because of the waste dumping, and elimination of fire, health hazards, and also the improvement of quality of creek water due to treatment of leachate. And obviously that was a important point, was significant improvement in the quality of marine life. So and project benefit was that the waste has a low calorific value and high moisture inert content and high capex required for meeting stringent emission norms. NIMBY was also the problem, and lack of tipping fee, that was few challenges. And also the benefit of the project was like it will get some carbon credit of this project, and after scientific closure now you can see that. So, it was before was like this, now you can see how it has been converted. This was the earlier, I think they started like this. Now you can see here the entire area. So, this the current you can see the Gorai dump site has been converted under this. This is the, I think, first of a kind of project or successful project. Now, if you see different case studies like Timarpur and Okhla project, that was in Delhi. So, is a integrated solid waste processing complex, waste to energy. Proposed capacity was 1950 tons per day, after expansion 2950 tons per day, and was thought was that waste to energy 16 megawatt to 40 megawatt energy. And the name of applicant was this was the private company. Budget was 175 crore, later extended to 200 crores. Land acquisition, like land is embarked for MSWM facility for local authority, and so there will be no change in the land use. So, the emission from the combustion of fossil fuel from the stationary or mobile sources, emission from material handling including storage and transport, odorous gas generated from MSW pit will be sucked and burnt in the boiler. The project is revenue generated, so no toll tax has been implemented. Waste is being stored by municipal corporation of that area. Waste sorting is not there in the agreement. So, this was the news. Now, what are the success factors of that? Like a lot of employment have been generated to the local people. Pre-installation of pollutant related equipment, pollutant treatment equipments. There are a lot of political supports also. because they were generating 26 megawatt electricity. Now you see the failure factors of that, the faulty logic and poor assessment of its socio-economic and environmental implications, unavailability of EIA report to the public, inadequate or unreliable base characterization or quantification, and protests against the plant. Like this was the local habitations was in Sukhdev Vihar, other close area. There was a lot of protest against the plants. So, if you ask me what is the major problem or in this particular project was the inadequate and unreliable waste characterization and quantification data. See, for any city you can think about like is producing 500 tons per day waste, and characteristic says that the 50% is a dry waste or combustible material. So, you can easily say that these around 200-250 tons will come to the incineration facility, but without having the proper characterization, whether that dry waste will have how much amount of moisture content is there, how much is the volatile percentage in the dry waste itself. Dry waste is not like everything is a combustible. You need to have proper characterization. Even the quantity also, I think these kind of data is most of the times is unreliable, because I see already in one of the module I explained that how difficult is the waste quantification characterization, and that this is one problem with the technologies kind of side. But in the operation side, if you see that if it is not segregated at source, and if the entire mixed waste is reaching to the waste to energy plant, how is possible to go for combustion of mixed waste, because 50% is only dry, but remaining 50% is a wet or maybe is a inert material which is not volatile or not combustible. And having the segregation facility at centralized facility is not possible at all. You can have the different kind of trommels, you can set up different number of trommels you can install, but it is very difficult to get segregated centralized facility. That was the major problem again in the operation way. There was no segregation, and when the these kind of plants also came, the idea was that up to the 30% of moisture can be added into the combustion chamber. But I think in India 3 to 4 months is the rainy season. What you will do in that period? Because obviously a lot of moisture will add into the waste, because waste is getting disposed into the particular community dustbin in the open area. So, lot of moisture. So, how you will be able to run the waste to energy plants? That was, I think, is a known facts now. Now, the another project like Coimbatore project, it was a integrated solid waste management project, and project capacity was 815 tons per day, scheme was JNRM, and concession period was 20 years. So, what was the work was given, like source segregation and transportation to the transfer stations. That was the task from the local authority, and the private authority or private sector will do source the treatment facility and disposal facility, and was asked from the private sector to construct the sanitary landfill and compost plant. And in that case, the compost plant, the capacity was found 375 metric tons per day. So, the success factor was good, because The source segregation was there, door to door collection increased up to 90%, overall collection efficiency was 95%. After implementation of projects, 80% source segregation, 25% was only reaching to the landfill area. Recycling, reuse of waste increased by 60%, and reduction of methane emission, obviously less amount of waste was reaching to the landfill area, and reduction of carbon footprints, and also the trip efficiency, like the bulk refuse carrier vehicle had been used. But if you see the failure factors, the primary collection issues like absence of waste storage system at source, improper segregation, inadequate area coverage service, insufficient transfer station, less scope of revenue generation, and intangible method for gauging service delivery, and feasible route were not designed. So, this was some failure factors of the Coimbatore project. And this one of the news, you can see the Coimbatore Corporation's approach to manage the waste generation in city. So, is it another project like Tirupur project in Karnataka, like faced difficulty for managing the waste in 1990. In 99, these PPP projects has been started under the boot model and concession agreement with Timarpur Municipal Corporation and one private sector company, and this private company will pay 3.5 rupees per tons of waste collection, and should provide these local authority will provide to the private sector 100 metric tons per day waste, out of that 40 metric tons was biodegradable. So, the success factor was selection of technology was done by taking waste characteristics into characterization. Organic matter content was more into that, and involvement of local community was strong, and they have given more cooperation to the project. Skill development training were given to the people in the local area to equip them with required technical projects by the local authority also and from the private sector also. But the failure factors, if you see, the processing plant did not comply with the MSW rule. The concession agreement finalized before the introduction of MSW handbook, that 2000 on contract amendment has not been done. Specification are not as per the rule. Solid waste sent for processing into compost plant without segregation. That's why the villagers who refused to allow its operation by threatening the workers at the plant. This was also one of the news. So, because of that, lot of garbage was piling up in the Tirupur collectorate in the local area. This is Pallavaram and Thambaram project. So, name of project was the same for the two corporations. Budget was 100 crore, 300 tons per day capacity, and model was DBOT. Concession period was 20 year, and the project is based on waste to energy. So, idea was 2.9 megawatt waste to energy because of disposal of waste from 3.5 lakhs household. So, this was the one of the news, that lack of garbage bin in Chennai's Pallavaram forced residents to dump waste in the open ground. So, what was the success factor here? Scientific closure of existing dump yard, and is a constructed waste processing plant in particular location, like transfer station cum MRF, RDF and eco brick plant was been constructed. Proposing 3 satellite municipal operation in particular locations. Residents were very cooperative towards handling waste, but there was a lack of public awareness. But the failure factor was like residents near the plants was suffering from flies and filthy surrounding. Foul smell generated from the plant to affect the residents of 8 panchayats. and maintaining hygienic condition was ensured in the agreement, but it was not followed. Plant was unable to produce 2.9 megawatt electricity, and gasification technology used to process waste was a failure. This was very important to share here. Like gasification technology was been proposed, and I already explained in one of the module that these gasification projects is not that good for the commingled waste or mixed waste. Now is a very popular like Hyderabad projects was project capacity was 3,800 metric tons. This is also in JNRM program. It's a very good amount of budget. The success factor was there was good coordination between various teams managing the different value chain because of centralized control. There was accountability on the part of private party. There was success in creating public awareness in the zones covered by the private partners, and there were environmental consideration as bioremediation of existing dump sites was included as an essential criteria in the concession agreement. But the failure factor was that financial support by the state. So, that was also I explained in one of the lecture, like central fund was not available for that, and commitment by government like protests and strikes by the local corporation employees union against the privatization, and this was the one private company was working the real. It was noticed that there was inadequate financial support government in the concession agreement was another problem. This was the news, like only 25% of 5,000 tons of waste segregated. Now is the Asansol project in West Bengal. Was project capacity was 200 to 210 metric tons per day. Budget was 156 crores under the boot model. Success factor, one of the most important achievement of Asansol Municipal Corporation, introduction of tricycle for primary collection, and the capacity building of ELB was good enough as they have accepted to do the collection job. Daily average disposal of solid waste of these sites was around 200 to 210 metric tons per day. For improving the existing landfill site, a scientific engineered landfill by the private sector will construct the sanitary landfill. But the failure was there was no support from the political leader in the particular state. The problem raised with primary collection, workers are not properly trained and they do not perform their duties properly. Insufficient number of bins, wrong placement of dustbin was found influencing by political leader, which create a disparity among the people. No proper awareness about how to handle waste. The number of workers engaged for the collection is not sufficient. Non-economical location of dump sites, they are far from the city. No centralized pattern of duties allotted to the worker. Like this was a project in Chandigarh project, was project capacity 500 tons per day, budget was 30 crore under the BOT model. Main objective was private concession was to convert MSW to RDF. So, this was the photograph, you can see Chandigarh wasteland. Success factor was revenue generated model because the produce was RDF and was sold to the Ambuja cement plant in Ropad. Overall collection efficiency was found to be 70% with collection efficiency of 60 to 70% for the registered household and 20% for the slum. And the collection system, transportation system was good. House to house collection was done in all the residential sectors, covers about 70 to 80% of registered household. But the failure was there was lack of suitable trained manpower, inappropriate collection routes, and often unavailability of collection vehicle. Further, insufficient number of bins and bin capacity. Solid waste was processed to generate RDF, no additional treatment was provided to the waste, remaining waste to directly dispose in the landfill, and there was no proper lining, no proper sanitary condition was maintained in the landfill area. So, this was the news. So, few failure projects, I think there was some news based on that. I found that few failure projects like 10 years on solid waste management plant in Haridwar, it to operate. So, no Swachh municipal waste disposal in Rajkot. So, Dehradun, Haridwar ULB float waste disposal rule says that was one of the report from CAG. So, this was in Lucknow, waste management in a mess, government Lucknow growing by heaps and bounds. So, there are number of failure projects, you can see that. So, see at the end I put it some failure stories. Why? Because again I am explaining that this entire solid waste management is not only the technology side or not only for management side, it is a combination of management also and technology sides both, and also the financing was one of the important issue under the waste management program. See, even see the technology was on their way. I think all the technologies are well known literature available, whether you take anaerobization, composting, incineration, RDF, recycling, all the technologies are well popular, but only the problem here, major the issues are there, how best you will be able to collect segregated waste, that was the important point. So, there the issue is that you will be required lot of awareness in the local area, because still the people do not want to work for the waste collection sites. Even the getting manpowers also is not that easy. Once you get it also, they will continue the same task, that is also not well informed to us. So, I think technology with having the capital fund, you can have the different technology, okay, but you need to also look upon the how best you will be able to have primary collection followed by secondary collection. You design the transfer station, but if you are not getting proper waste in the transfer station, then how what is the benefit of having the transfer station? So, let us see. I think under Swachh Bharat mission lot of projects has been implemented under the PPP mode only, like Indore is one of the example, and now let us see that other cities also will follow the similar kind of way, and also has to be look upon that. Is not that now Indore is a cleanest city, but is it possible to sustain that cleanliness up for 20 years or 25 years minimum, I am saying, because now the population in the urban areas are increasing, lot of infrastructure facilities are coming, lot of commercial facilities are coming into the urban area. So, the waste quantity will increase, obviously even the characterization also will change with time. So, whether those kind of technologies are available, or we do not require the new technology, but at least your management part like collection and transportation part need to be well modified with the time to time, and well designed is required to run the particular treatment facilities. So, now today we will end here the entire syllabus of this particular course, and I personally believe that you liked the entire syllabus of this course, which we started from the evolution of solid waste, followed by characterization, sources, generation, and all 6 functional elements I discussed in the detail, and also because that all functional element was particularly technical and management issue. So, and also I had a 2 extra module I had been explained, like the special waste also I explained in this course, and also the financing and PPP was one of the important issue in the solid waste management project. So, hope you like the entire syllabus of course, and hope you enjoyed the entire my lectures, and best wishes for the exam for this course. Thank you.